All right, we're going to give it one more minute and we'll officially start 12:03. Good afternoon, and thank you for dialing into our wellness presentation seminar, Ask the Experts on Winter Wellness. All lines are muted until the question and answer portion at the end of the presentation. December is Winter Wellness, and as the weather starts to turn, and with all of our activities in this season, we would like to provide some insight on staying healthy during the winter and provide the opportunity to ask our coaches some questions. We are honored to have our on-site coaches, Johannes Agunlasi and Travis Udezi, with us today on the platform. You may have seen them in the field at your work locations on our YouTube channel. Thank you, coaches, for joining us today. I will now turn it over to Johannes for his introduction.
Hello, everyone. Thank you guys. As Jillian just mentioned, we want to thank you guys for tuning in our Ask the Experts segment. We appreciate you guys taking the time out and asking us questions and trying to gain some more insight. Though you may not have asked one already, please feel free to ask us questions when we get to that portion of the segment. Christina, if you can, go ahead and get us over to the next slide. So, as I said, we want to provide you guys with some different insight about December being Winter Wellness Month. So gaining a little insight about understanding winter wellness. Winter wellness is about practicing healthy habits to improve your physical, but also mental health during a time of the year where temperatures are cold and there's definitely a lack of sunlight. In many traditions and countries, December marks a time of gathering and celebration. However, it can also be marked, unfortunately, with seasonal obligations and tons of stress. We know we all like to pack on our gift buying all in the last week right before Christmas, and the stress kind of just really jumps up at that point in time. So today we plan to provide you guys with some just different tips on how to have the best winter yet. Christina, if you can go on to the next slide. So for those that have not met me just yet, I just wanted to give you a little insight and touch on a little bit of who I am. As Jillian just mentioned, my name is Johannes. I am your on-site life coach. I went to the University of Illinois in Urbana-Champaign. I'm a huge basketball fan. Currently, we're in the top 25 in the nation. All right, so that's a big thing. If any of you guys are basketball fans out there or went to U of I, shout out to you guys. I'm a big fan and watch as much as I possibly can. I got my degree in economics during my time there. And as I came out of school, I worked within the corporate wellness sector. And corporate wellness just covers many different facets, both the mental and physical well-being of people within the workplace. As we know, most of us sit behind a desk for hours and hours. So it's important to figure out different ways to just move around, be intentional about our mental well-being, and not just being in a position where we're in that static position for 8 hours straight. So because of that, I have been given 16 years of my service to trying to help people alleviate some of that static position that they're in. And now that's transitioned into me being with CTA. My tenure year has started in last year, March. Myself and Jillian actually started at the same time. And we've had a fantastic time. So if you can, Christina, go ahead and go on to the next slide. Many people ask me, like, what is a life coach? And there are many benefits of a life coach. Essentially, whether your goal is to be more confident, or to be more fulfilled whenever you're working on a project, you can find a lot of challenges with that. And my goal is to help people figure out how to get from point A to point B. That point A being identifying the goal, and the point B actually pursuing it so that we can then achieve that goal. And life coaching focuses on what's happening right now and what a person wants to accomplish next. But then, how do we actually bridge that gap? So we might work from what the goal is and go backwards to figure out those steps. But essentially, I want to make that process as seamless as possible. So now, what I'd love to do, my partner in, I won't call him in crime, I'll actually say in health and wellness, Travis, I want to move things over to him so he can give you a little bit of time and insight about himself.
All right, team. Thank you for that, Johannes. So my name is Travis Udezi. I'm your coach. I'm your on-site coach. So right there is some of my certifications. And just like Johannes, I actually got started in the corporate wellness space also. Um, I love personal training. I love the one-on-one training aspect, but I also love the group exercise setting. As you can see, I'm a personal trainer. I teach yoga. I do the spin. I teach a little bit of spin and group exercise. Uh, but again, I love coaching. I love just seeing you guys succeed and, reaching your goals and all that good stuff. So yeah, that's just a little bit more about me, a little bit more about my certifications. I actually went to school at the University of Northern Iowa. We're not in the top 25, Johannes, but we're getting there. But yeah, Christina, you can hit that next slide. And then, so you're on-site fitness coach. What can I do for you? So I can do a lot for you. I will, I'll definitely help you guys put together a fitness plan. So if you're looking for some type of structure in your fitness or your workout routine, I can definitely help with that. Even like some healthy eating options, just kind of help strategizing, you know, what you need to eat to kind of help, reach your fitness goals. Again, helping with goal setting and, all aspects that comes along with health and wellness. Again, a lot of it is just sitting down with you one-on-one and just coming up with a game plan. And that's what I do for you guys. So feel free to reach out at any time if you have any questions regarding your health and wellness and your fitness, and I got you covered.
I
And
remember
so with
Travis.
all that said,
I was gonna
what's
say,
that?
I remember Travis recently had helped me out. I felt like I had like a little knot in the shoulder, and he bust out one of the foam rollers and showed me a few stretches. So hopefully you guys
Exactly.
really take advantage of him when he's out there, because you never know what he may be able to help with that could alleviate any pain that you have for the rest of the day.
Yeah, I mean, going right into that. So even like, any type of, workplace stress that might cause any tightness in your shoulders, upper back, neck. Again, I'll help you identify, where that tightness is coming from, and then just kind of helping you alleviate some of that muscle tightness or some of that muscle tension. So again, a little bit of exercise correction and all that good stuff. Well, yeah, let's jump right into those winter wellness tips. So, and a couple more are kind of, things that we already know what we need to do, like staying active, right? In the wintertime, you want to continue to stay active because it will help boost your immune system. So, as you all know, a lot of diseases, chronic conditions, colds starts with inflammation in the body, and what exercise can do is kind of help reduce that inflammation in the body. So, definitely staying active is going to help improve your mood. Is going to increase your energy level, and again, just some strategies to kind of help keep you active. It's just taking those movement breaks throughout your day, right? Going outside, walking, going for a quick walk, or try to sneak in a workout earlier in the morning. But again, when you stay active throughout the day, I mean, you're gonna see the benefits. Um, and then going down to that second bullet point, eat well. I mean, this is one of those winter tips that, again, is one of those things that, in the wintertime, we just tend to consume a little bit more calories than what we need to, because, you just don't get out as much, right? So, just kind of planning on eating a balanced diet, plenty of fruits, vegetables, whole grains, all that good stuff. Um, and remember, try to strategize what type of foods you want to eat too. Citrus fruits are going to have a little bit more vitamin C in them, so vitamin C is going to help keep you healthy. Going to help keep eating food proteins full the day. Same thing with foods high in fiber. It's going to help keep you full, going to help you keep you satisfied and all that good stuff. Just kind of stay away from the processed foods because that's just empty calories. It's going to make you feel full right away, but then maybe in the next 30 minutes, you're gonna be reaching for another snack. All right, what else do we got? Oh yeah, Christina, you can hit that next slide.
Wait, Travis, really quick. So I can't have like a Portillo's Polish or
As long as you plan ahead, knowing that, I might have to spend a little extra more time in, working out to burn that off.
Right, I
Well,
will.
again, strategize it a little bit, there's always a healthy option too. All right, so of course, and some more winter tips. Stay hydrated. This is a big one because I feel like in the wintertime, we don't consume as much liquids that we normally do in the summertime, right? We for some reason we just don't drink enough water. But so, make it a point this winter to just consume more liquids. And it can be, you can do a protein shake. You can juice your fruits and vegetables. I like to keep a water bottle close by just to stay hydrated. Um, we just tend not to drink as much in the wintertime. So again, always stay hydrated. It's going to help with your mood and all that good stuff. Um, and then, of course, practice healthy sleep hygiene. Um, Try to get enough sleep. I mean, this is an underrated one. 7 to 8 hours. It's just going to help with your recovery. It's going to help keep you healthy. Again, it's going to help with your mood during the winter months. It's always good to try to go to sleep and wake up at the same time. So having that bedtime schedule will definitely help with you. Get your quality 7 to 8 hours of sleep each night. Um,
Nice.
yeah.
Travis, I've been trying to get as much as I can in because I constantly get the question. My new addition to the family. He's going to be 5 months next week, and I hear you guys ask me constantly, "Are you getting enough sleep?" And so, I keep going to little Johannes and asking him, "Hey, the team's been telling me we need to get 8 hours of sleep. So what are we going to do about this?" But for some reason, he hasn't responded quite yet.
You're the exception to the rule. Yeah, get it in whenever you can, because that's tough. But for those who don't have any young ones in the house, try to get the 8 hours, because as you probably know, when you do get that quality 8 hours of sleep, you wake up a new person, a little bit more creative, more energy, just ready to take on the day. Let's see
Um,
here. Yeah. Let's see here. Do we got any more tips? You can go to that next. Oh yeah. Moving on to Johannes.
Excellent, excellent. So, yeah, so thank you guys, and thank you for all of that information and insight, Travis. I'm definitely going to keep on working towards trying to get Lil Johannes on board and allowing my wife and I to get 7 to 8 hours of sleep. We'll see if he allows us to do it sometime soon. So, um, I wanted to get into some of the mental well-being aspects in the winter months, right? One of the big ones that is underrated is practicing self-care. And a lot of people, wonder what that is. I would actually say self-care is it's pretty open-ended. It can be many of the things that you just want for yourself, or that's going to give you the mental break of dealing with long work hours, challenges that you may be dealing with on a personal level, or sometimes we're putting our own pressure on ourselves a little bit harder than normal. I'd say some of the things with self-care, topic wise, that could help you out, and tips are doing things like getting a massage. Okay. If you can't do that yourself, Travis has an excellent video about utilizing the foam rollers, of kind of doing like a self stretch, self massage. So there are ways for you to do it even where it's practical and it's cost effective. I'd say also, I love this one, soaking in a bath, using essential oils. Some people don't like doing a full bath. I recommend sometimes maybe even just soaking your feet with a little Epsom salt and a little essential oil. And doing that for 5 minutes can really just relieve tension in the feet of you walking, or your feet being kind of propped up for long hours throughout the day. Makes a really big difference. So being intentional about practicing your self-care. You also want to stay connected. You know, as we're staying connected, we want our social connections to really stand through and through, especially during the winter months when we're not moving around as much. Some of those things have to do with, you can do what's lovely now, just like how we're doing it ourselves in this very segment. We're doing virtual in-person meetings with friends and family, doing calls with maybe family members that may be in other states or in different parts of the country. Sometimes I think it's good to even renew relationships. Like if you text somebody out of the blue or give them a phone call, that's a good surprise that somebody has, so that they can enjoy the conversation and catching up with someone that they haven't spoken to in a while. Kind of just bounces that positive energy. And then additionally, as Travis was speaking about the exercise component, when we exercise, that's one thing. But I would encourage people to make exercise fun by asking somebody to join them, right? So now when we're in the group exercise environment, that just helps to bounce that energy around, and helps us to not feel alone. Okay. Now, when going into things like what the company has to offer us, right? You have things like the EAP resources. So a number of us don't always know about just how impactful the EAP resources are and what all elements that they have to support us in our times of need. But the EAP offers 6 free counseling services per issue, but not just for you. All right, that extends to anybody that lives in your household. Sometimes we have nieces and nephews that live with us. Sometimes we have our parents, grandparents that live with us. And if they are challenged with some things, it's an opportunity for them and you to get the support from a professional that can help alleviate pressure off of everyone that's within that household. The great thing about it is it doesn't just stop there. A lot of people don't realize that there are legal consultations through your EAP. You can get accounting advice. You can get pet care, elder care. So it's just so many components. I often, when I'm in the field, I recommend people utilize the EAP hotline in a way that is almost like a concierge service. Call the number up when you speak to the representative. Basically, let them know whatever challenge it is that you may have, or whatever support that you're looking for, and see how they can help you. You'd be so surprised. And taking that a step further, we have things with the EAP like behavioral wellness webinars, digital therapeutic apps like iPrevail, Ginger, Talkspace, and Happify. So all of these allow you to do any of your videos. You can do, I'm sorry, you can speak to a professional through video, text chat, or even voice call. So it makes it convenient in a way where if you're not able to meet with somebody in person, you can do it in real time. That's what I love the most about the EAP. It tries to make things as convenient as possible. You also have other things like stress management coaching programs and mental health crisis resource lines. So it's a wealth of information. Please don't hesitate to utilize it. We can always send you more information for those that are interested. And then taking things a step further, I would like to say with mental health well-being, it's important to do things like surrounding yourself with small pleasures. What are small pleasures to somebody like myself during the winter? I love a warm drink in my favorite mug, and watching a movie that may be either uh, an old school movie or something new. My wife and I, we love watching film, and then in a sense giving our own critic review of the film. But that could also be doing things like the exercise component, right? Going out to exercise. For me, I play basketball. I love to get around with the camaraderie of the group, and the competition, but just engaging with people. Like that is a lovely thing to do. That kind of dwells right into pursue your passion. Okay, so figuring out people's passion. Sometimes that's challenging, but just trying new things can help you find out what that passion is. That could be painting, that could be writing, that could be, hey, listening to webcasts and webinars and just learning about different things that people do. And at some point in time, when you get out of the norm of just doing your everyday daily living activities and you try something new, eventually it makes it a lot easier to kind of break out of that shell and find out more interest that you may not have known that you had. As you can see, if you want to find out any more information about like the EAP resources and things, we've got the phone number up there for you. All right. So Christina, can you go on to the next slide? Well, we have gotten some submitted questions. Okay, so we appreciate you guys for giving us those. Travis and I are gonna kind of just segue some of these questions that we had submitted already. But as we said, please don't, if you have any questions that already came to mind, feel free to put it in the chat and we're gonna try to reach all those questions as best that we can. Being time sensitive, if we don't complete the question within this segment, we'll make sure to get a record of it, and then we'll reach out and answer those questions accordingly. But we'll also give you our information so that you guys can reach out to us at any given time to have those questions answered. All right. So let's get into this first one. This is interesting. Do you recommend sunlight replacement type lamps for the winter? This is interesting. I like this question. Well, as we mentioned, there tends to be a lack of sunlight. That's just a factual thing, right? The sun comes down a lot earlier in the day, sometimes as early as 4 p.m. My goodness. So, so getting a sunlight replacement lamp can be beneficial. However, I would also recommend that you do want to be careful for lamps that have UV lights, because you do want to be careful of things like having too much UV on the skin, or affecting your eyes. So you have to be careful with them. There are plenty of them. I think they kind of range anywhere between $50 to as much as $500, but they can be effective. And a lot of people try to utilize those that may not only not have the opportunity to get outside, but may not have the space to even get natural sunlight within their spaces. So I think that it's important to help deal with things like some form of depression, just getting that sunlight and getting that light and helping to wake you up and engage and thrust some energy in there. But like most things, I would say just be practical with it. Too much of anything can be a little difficult. So if you're finding the need to just kind of boost your energy, go ahead and utilize it and listen to your body. If it's working well, try it. If you don't feel that you need it, maybe not a necessity. But I do love the idea of making sure that you're getting some sort of form of light within your life. So the next question here: exercises for the abdominal area. Travis, do you have any of those for us?
I think I got you covered on this one. So
Okay.
there are several different exercises, several different movements you can do to work your abdominals, your abs, right? My favorite is just going into a plank position. It's low impact. So, I think you guys are all familiar with the plank, but you're on your forearms, you're on your elbows, you're extending the body. and you're trying to keep your body nice and straight. So with that, you want to try to keep everything tight. So you want to pull in the core or pull in that belly button towards your body, and then but continue to breathe. That's called keeping the core tight, engaging your abs. Just by doing that movement, you're going to be working your abs, your abdominals, your obliques. Those are the muscles on the side of your body, and your lower back. So that's a basic one. That's an easy one, and it's so beneficial. But I have to say, my favorite one is the bicycle crunch. I mean, so if you don't have any low back issues, because this one can put a little bit of pressure on that low back, is the bicycle crunch. And that's the one where you're on your back, you have your hands, your fingertips behind your head, and you're kind of cycling your legs, elbows and knees together. I love that movement because it just challenges the core, the front of your abs, your obliques, and that lower back. Just got to be conscious of the way you do it. And you got to remember to breathe, continue to breathe as you do some of these abdominal exercises. A lot of times when we're doing something challenging, we tend to hold our breath. So you're doing your bicycle crunches, but you're holding your breath. You got to continue to breathe. Deep inhales and exhales, working through that range of motion. And again, there's several different abdominal movements you can do. You can Google a lot. The main thing is to stay consistent with it, right? So, picking maybe like 3 to 4 of your favorite core abdominal exercises, putting it into a routine. Maybe you're going to perform that maybe 20 to 30 seconds each, and then give yourself some time to rest in between. And bam, you got yourself a nice little core exercise routine. But yeah, there's several of them. If you need something a little bit more specific, like if you do have some low back issues or maybe you have some hip issues, reach out to me, and again, this is what I can help build a core routine that will definitely benefit you personally. Yeah, I love that question.
Nice, nice. So when I do my bicycles and I do my planks, I'm gonna get myself a 24 pack, right?
24. Yes.
I want to get those movie star abs, Travis. That's what I'm looking
Hey,
for. Okay.
consistency is that secret sauce, right? That's what we say.
All right, all right. So on to our next question. What is an overall exercise that can be done to help the muscles stay strong and powerful for the entire body?
Awesome. Again, I love that question. So, what I like to do is do compound movements, meaning you're doing a movement that's going to work multiple muscles in your body. So, think about a squat. So, you're going into your normal squat with a overhead press. So, you're going to extend your arms towards the sky. Maybe you have some hand weights in your hands. So, you got two different movements. You got your squat, and then you're doing your overhead press. So, now you're working multiple muscle groups. You're working your lower body, your quads, your hamstrings, your glutes. But then when you add the overhead press, you're getting your core involved, you're working your shoulders. And depending on your pace, now you got that cardiovascular element going on for you. Um, so that's one exercise you can do. Again, there's so many more you can do from a down dog to a plank. But just think about doing one movement that kind of incorporates multiple muscle groups to work at the same time. The plank is a perfect example too, because when you're in that plank position, the core is working, the shoulders working, the heart rate's up a little bit. But again, one movement that kind of hits everything all at once. Again, I can give you more examples, but I know we're kind of strapped for time.
Well, I know that it can be challenging for some people and definitely for myself as well, but I love to do lunges. I don't know how anybody else feels about it, but they just do a great job for me because I feel like, hey, if I'm walking and doing some lunges like you're just describing, my core, my abs, they got to tighten up. Otherwise, I'm gonna, heel over and fall and fall over.
Right.
So yeah, it's a definitely something that requires the whole body to be incorporated and involved. I did see this one. I want to highlight. Someone had mentioned they have a Move Spring app issue, and just seeing if anybody else has a problem. I would probably say to that one, if you can, please reach out to us when you get the opportunity. And what we'll do is maybe you can give us a little bit more insight on what the app issue is, and we'll help you kind of navigate through that. So getting on to the next question. How much protein should we take daily?
This is a good one. This is a good one. This is a question that, a lot of folks tend to ask, and it all depends on you and your body type, right? I know they recommend about, 0.8 per kilograms per your body weight. Um, but again, it's all based on you. So if you're an individual that typically doesn't get a lot of protein in their diet, like you don't want to go towards like the top end. You want to slowly introduce protein into your diet, right? So I'm about 180 pounds. So I'm trying to get at least at the very minimum around, 65, grams of protein in my diet, all the way upwards to maybe 150 grams of protein in my diet. But again, it varies from person to person. But there's a lot of tools out there. There's a lot of apps out there that can calculate that for you, where you put your body type in, you put your age, your weight, male, female, and it will calculate how much protein you should be getting daily. And then you'll be surprised. I mean, like 150 grams of protein is a lot of protein when you actually see it out there. So again, I would definitely utilize some type of an app. I use MyFitnessPal. I love that one because it does kind of break down all of your micronutrient from protein to your fats to your carbohydrates, and all that good stuff. And all that good stuff. So definitely utilize your app, do your research, because it does vary from person to person. And then again, if you are not used to getting that much protein into your diet, I would slowly introduce it and then build up upon it. Yeah, that's a good question. That's always a good one.
I think, yeah, you just touched on it. Like there are apps that do a great job. I like to utilize MyFitnessPal as well because it does. It gives you a lot of insight on your vitamin intake, your proteins, your sodium, your
Yeah.
cholesterol, and now you're really getting a full breakdown of like what that food group or that meal is, what you're putting into your system, and so you're learning how to eat, which
Hmm.
is really important. And then I would say to reflect from that, if you now kind of know those numbers, you can then also associate how do you feel after the fact. So if you're kind of creating a diary around that, which it does for you, and then kind of relating that again to how did I feel over the past week. This is just a great association from both the mental and physical well-being of it. I also want to highlight the protein aspect is important because it helps to boost our energy. We need energy and fuel throughout the day, much just like a vehicle does. And when we don't get it, what tends to come around? That hangry feeling. Believe me, my 5-month-old, he lets us know every time he's ready to eat. Right? He's like, oh, he's a little fussy. He probably wants to eat some food. But okay, let's get on to the next question. So, best tips for winter activities for exercise. That's a good one.
It is
Um,
a good one.
yeah. So I think that
There's
this
so many of them.
yeah, there's so many of them. So I think that this is, as you just said, very broad. There are a ton of different activities. I think both of us have actually touched on these in some of our segments on our YouTube channel. I know I recently done one about like fun activities to do in and around the holiday season, which is important. They're like things you can do with the family. They could be free. They could be like go to the tree lighting, within downtown Chicago, and you can go ice skating in like Maggie Daly Park. You can do things like the holiday train. Right? We got both of those things going, both the holiday bus and the holiday train. Um, but then also going into doing things like again the exercise aspect. It's just being active is the key. It's just finding out what it is that you'd love to do and who'd you like to spend the time with is where I would answer how I would answer that.
Yeah. Get bundled up and, get outside. I know a lot of times we shy away from that cold weather. Like it's too cold. I don't want to get out there. But, sometimes it's just good to, bundle up, go outside, get that brisk walk in. We always feel great after a workout, right? You always feel good. Like, you're a little bit more creative. You're more relaxed. But yeah, get out there. And again, sticking with the working out, the exercise part of it, maybe find a group exercise class that you enjoy. It could be Zumba, it could be a yoga session. But yeah, try out a new group exercise class because it's good to be around other people when you're working out, when you're doing these activities.
Basketball is year round, guys. So if you ever want to go, let me know. All right. I can never get up too many shots. All right. Well, and then here's our next question: how to stay healthy, right? Which there's many aspects to that. The way that I'd like to go about answering that is, I think it's important that we create diaries and document things for ourselves, and just being intentional with that. So being intentional with the challenges, but then also the rewarding experiences so that you can positively identify each one of those moments. And, if you go exercise, as Coach Travis has mentioned, and you feel really good, highlight that. You want to be able to see that, identify it so that you can recreate that good feeling around that. If you haven't gotten a lot of sleep and, you write down and document that I maybe not feeling that great today. This was a week where I maybe only got 4 or 5 hours of sleep each night. So being more intentional about getting a little bit more sleep will really help. Coach Travis also talked about, staying hydrated. And that is a really, really important one. It covers a lot of different things to get the water to really absorb in your body. Can help kind of like decrease inflammation or like bloating and things of that nature, and even just that is it can be more of a freeing and allow you to be feel a lot more mobile. So I would again zero in on being intentional about writing things down, kind of creating a gratitude journal is what I like to call it, so that you can remember, like, I'm happy during this moment and I received this. But you identify those moments to kind of help you to navigate through how to stay healthy.
Yeah, I love that, Johannes. Yeah, set goals. I mean, set goals, write them down. It's probably the best way, you're gonna stay healthy. Ask yourself why. Why do you want to do this? Because once you put something on paper and you really explain why you want to do it, you're gonna be more apt to actually do it and succeed in those goals. So yeah, I love all that, Johannes.
Our next question is, what are some healthy eating habits? Okay. Um, I know just really quickly off the top of my head, one that works for me is kind of grazing throughout the day. I think everybody has to find out what works for them. But I know when I eat multiple, at least, small portions throughout the day, I get to steer myself away from being hangry. And when I do go through long droughts, unfortunately for me, you may not get the brightest smile in that moment if I've gone, 7, 8 hours without having any intake. But Travis, what do you think? What are some healthy eating habits that you may be able
Yeah,
to?
I mean, we talk about them a lot, just kind of choose foods that is just high in protein and fiber. Because those are the foods that's gonna keep you full, right? You're gonna be satisfied throughout the day, so you don't have to go back and eat another bag of chips. So foods that are like highly processed, like a bag of chips or like some crackers or McDonald's or something like that. Is gonna you're gonna be satisfied for maybe 15, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, but you're gonna be hungry again. So again, choosing the right foods to eat and then timing it right. You don't want to eat late night, because we don't have the opportunity to burn off those calories, right? We end up just consuming them and then we go to sleep. So then they get stored as, extra calories as fat. So again, just kind of timing it right. And then it's always good to have a strategy. Meal prepping is definitely underrated, but again, it's just like having a plan for your day. Having a plan of what you're going to eat for breakfast, what are you going to eat for dinner, planning out your snacks. It's going to help. It's definitely going to help. I know it kind of sounds a little tedious. You don't have to do it every single day, but again, it just kind of helps you monitor, like, what are you consuming? So you're not like, all right, I'm starving. I'm going to eat anything that's close to me. I'm gonna go down to the 7-Eleven, just grab whatever I can. So if you can plan ahead, it's going to help. It's going to help. It's going to do wonders in your healthy eating habits.
I like that, Travis. You touched on something. Eating out is expensive, really expensive. So we're not even just delving into the how healthy the habit is for the nutrition aspect of your body, but also for your pockets, right? It's healthy for you to kind of meal prep and meal plan, because the surprise spending can kind of get us into a space that we don't want to, where we're now taking money away from things, that could be used in a sense in different areas that we may need to utilize them. So I definitely like that. And our next question, what are some good workout and stretch routines?
Again, there's several of them, but it doesn't have to be anything elaborate. It doesn't have to be an hour and a half workout routine. It can literally be a 10-minute movement routine, whether it's stretching, whether it's a 10-minute hit routine, or a 10-minute stretching routine. Just as long as you have some type of routine, you're going to see the benefits. So just for example, like at the start of my day, I would go through just a quick 5 to 10 minute workout cycle. Again, it's just me holding a plank for 20 seconds. I'll try to knock out as many push-ups as I can in like 20 to 30 seconds. And then I'll go on my back and I'll do some crunches. And I'll repeat that maybe 2 to 3 times. And that's less than 10 minutes. But for me, I feel good afterwards, and I'm ready to go. And I might sprinkle that in throughout the day. So again, that's just an easy, quick workout routine that you can build into your day. But a lot of times, like if you do have some time to go to the gym later on, at the beginning of your day, at the end of your day, again, it doesn't have to be long. Again, pick 4 to 5 movements that you truly enjoy. Hopefully, it's total body, something that's going to work your lower body, something that's going to work your upper body, maybe something's going to work your core, and then something's going to get your heart rate up. So some type of cardio, whether it's walking on the treadmill or using your elliptical. So you got 4 to 5 different movements. Again, give yourself maybe a couple minutes, 30 seconds each movement, and then give yourself some time for some recovery. And now you got yourself a nice little circuit. Again, a lot of it has to come down to like just planning ahead. So you got a nice little workout routine, plan for the day. And then what it's going to do is going to keep you motivated. It's going to keep you excited for the next day. So yeah, that's just a quick one. Again, if you need help building a workout routine, that's what I'm here for. Reach out. I got you covered. Again, we can get something nice and personalized for you, depending on your space you have at home, or if you do utilize an outside gym.
Lovely, lovely. So going on to our next question. Okay. Let's see here. Yep. Okay. So, well, we want to get into giving you guys that insight, right? Visiting our webpage, right? You can go to transitchicago.com/livewellworkwell, as you guys see there. You can also email us at wellnesscoach@transitchicago.com. Make sure you subscribe and follow the Live Well Work Well YouTube channel for more of our content. And just to kind of close things out, understanding winter wellness. We want you guys to remember winter wellness is important for you, for your physical and mental health, your performance and productivity, and your quality of life and happiness. You can improve your winter wellness by exercising regularly, eating healthy, sleeping well, relaxing often, and socializing more. Make sure you socialize.
Thank you, Johannes, for that, and Coach Travis. We will now open up the platform for questions that you guys might have. So feel free to type any question you might have for the coaches into the chat, or you can unmute yourself and verbalize your question.
All right, so yeah, I got a question here. So someone asked, after a workout, they tend to they tend to have cravings for sweet treats. And that's typical, right? You know, you just burnt a lot of calories, right? So normally you're working out, you're burning calories. Um, you're gonna crave some food, some type of nourishment, some type of supplements for the body. And again, depending on what you're lacking is going to be what you're craving, right? So some people say sweet treat, you know, so it's probably some type of carbohydrate. And you know, carbs are used for fuel. So you're probably totally depleted from your workout. So the body is probably wanting some type of carbohydrates to refuel. But remember, you don't have to go to the sweet treats, right? You can try you can grab a fruit, some type of fruit or some type of fiber-rich food that's going to keep you full just, you know, just a little bit longer to until you can get to your next meal. That's a good question. I love that. Anything else? I think we
What
did
are
a
some
good
ways
job,
to deal with,
Johannes. Go ahead.
yeah, what are some ways to deal with stress during the holiday season?
That's a good one, Jillian. Stress, as I found in the field, a lot of people are speaking towards that, and people are identifying it more and more. So some of the things that we touched on, although it's cold, it's a good idea to kind of be active and get out, just function, whether that's with family, whether that's with friends, whether it's with coworkers. I think when you are intentional of making a point of not just going through your um, routine every single day and kind of mixing things up, uh, you're going to help yourself to not remain in that space where you're stressed because you're not doing anything different. You have to be intentional about getting self-care in. You have to be intentional about socializing with family and friends. Sometimes you also need to take a break and just meditate from challenging moments. That might mean taking a 5 minute break to just deep breathe and meditate while you're in the workspace. And guess what? That 5 minutes may help take you through the next 4 hours. It's not very specific, but time specific, but whatever you need to kind of help to reduce your heart rate so that you can breathe at a slower pace, and allow your body to kind of just function at an even keel pace. It's going to help and make a big difference throughout your day-to-day activities.
Awesome. Thank you, Johannes, for that. Any other questions in the chat? One more round. I'm going to also put in our, if you see the Wellness Coach email address on the screen, I'll also put in the chat. If you do have any questions that come up at a later time, please feel free to reach out to Coach Johannes and Travis. All right. Well, at this time, this will conclude our presentation. Thank you, Coach Johannes and Travis, for that great insight. I definitely learned a lot today from you all. I appreciate all of you guys for joining us on the platform and for just being supportive to all of our seminars this year. We do have a Ask the Doc seminar on Tuesday, December the 12th at noon. That is on arthritis. And we will be having Dr. Berry on the platform, who's a rheumatologist. So definitely please check that out. And then we also have our last Financial Friday on the 15th with David Fowler, and that will be on retirement on your taxes. So please be on the lookout for our Wellness Wednesdays to be able to register for those. We thank you all for joining. Have a great day and be well.
Thank
Take
you,
care, team.
guys. See you out on the field.